Greetings, the Astro 30 here yet again, and welcome back to AEL. Thank you for joining me. Now, I'm taking a break from my amplifier build to look at a package that a viewer sent me in the mail. I received it yesterday. And no, that's not part of the package, it's just covering the shipping label on the top. It comes in a very familiar looking blue box. And yes, this is one of these JLC PCB boxes. So, speaking of shipping labels though, what I found funny was the shipping label on the bottom, which has the sender's information on it for the descriptions of the contents. Description of contents: pretend electronics. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I was speaking to him last night and he said that was the closest option that he could pick to choose for what the contents of the box was. That's for the customs declaration that you got to fill in between countries. Well, from Australia to the United Kingdom and from the United Kingdom to Australia. And this is where this came from, the United Kingdom. And ours, we just have a little box where you can actually write what the contents are. You can just go printed circuit boards, which is what I did on mine, which I sent off to the UK for someone. Anyhow, that's getting a little bit beyond necessary to talk about, so let's get the box open. I've already broken the tape and I've had a look inside to make sure there's nothing in here that's going to dox anybody, and there isn't. So he's reused basically the packaging that your JLC PCBs come in with, the bubble wrap and everything. So we'll put the bubble wrap to the side. There's a 3 sheets of paper here which are schematics, which we'll look at in a minute. Just another piece of bubble wrap. And I'm getting the very distinct odour of Kleenex. So he's provided me some NE5534 ICs. I can't see how many there's supposed to be. I think he told me there's supposed to be 6. I'd have to actually open the bag to have a look. Some header terminals, like screw terminals, and these like pin header things that you can cut down to the size you need. A couple of NE5532s. There's a reason for this. Some machined pinned IC sockets. These are better than the standard IC sockets you can buy, which are just flat pins, because it's like a plated through hole that you're putting your IC into, and it stops what's known as pin drift, because in the standard ones you can get, if I turn the right way up, you can get, the pins can slightly bend to the side, either way, so they end up off center. And what can happen is if you take the IC back out of the socket to do something and then put it back in, well, it's very easy for the pin to suddenly just bend out of the way of the hole. And you can't see it because it's usually underneath the IC where it happens. And you go to test it and it doesn't work and you can't figure out why. So yeah, machine IC sockets are more expensive, but they're better, and they also give better contact between the leg of the component and the hole itself. So there's that. I thought I could smell tissue paper, or Kleenex at least. It's wrapped up in tissue, man-sized tissue. Yeah. Okay. That was just to stop the boards rubbing on each other. And this looks like the preamp board he was talking about. Now it's upside down. Well, some of it's upside down, some of it. I've just noticed that one of the resistor values, R15 next to R16, they're reverse of each other. So the labelling goes in 2 different directions, but anyway, I guess if it's for yourself, it doesn't matter. Anyhow, that is a preamp board that he was talking about, and this looks like a 3-stage preamp. It's stereo, so it's got left out, left, right out. So that's one PCB he sent me. There's another 2 by the looks of things. This is actually a power amplifier PCB that he was working on, which is the Elector 70 or 100 watt amplifier module. It's printed in the magazine about 1982, I believe, and modded by Audio Tony. That's what he calls himself. So that'll be a good, interesting build. Board looks a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be, but okay. So I'll put that to the side, and we'll look at the spinal PCB in this box, which is another stereo preamp. However, this one uses single op amps, so this is where the NE553-4s come in. So there's like 6 of them, and the other one is just 2, I believe. Yeah, 3 actually. Dual op amps. So he's got basically the same sort of design using single op amps and another one using dual op amps. So the idea behind these preamp boards was it was for test equipment builds. So I think he was using it in his signal analyzer computer-based thing that he's got. Anyhow, so those are the printed circuit boards, and they are actually quite well laid out and designed, and the copper fills, etc., on both sides. And the layouts are a lot better than mine, but then again, I guess it just comes down with experience. You should have been an engineer. So let's have a look at the schematics that I've got, wherever I've just put them. So this is the schematic for the power amplifier module. It's a pretty standard, like long tail pair input, VBE multiplier, single VAS, 2 drivers and 2 output transistors. Nothing really screaming, you know, anything like out of the ordinary, basically is what I'm trying to say. He uses a program for layouts and schematics called DipTrace, which I affectionately call Dipstick, among other euphemisms. But anyway, this will be probably something I would be building later. I've just noticed something actually. Down here in the VBE multiplier, there's a 10 microfarad capacitor, but look where the positive marking is. It's pointing towards, well, the negative side of the VBE multiplier. The negative plate of the capacitor is going to the bootstrapped circuit, which is up here, formed by these 2 resistors to the positive rail via this capacitor to the output. That's in reverse polarity. That could be an issue. Because I don't think that's supposed to be like that. I'd have to actually double check the PCB to see if it's actually routed that way, but as it's been done in auto route, well, whatever's on the schematic would be how it is on the PCB, so that would be reverse polarity. But anyway, let's look at the power amplifier schematic. I'll go through these a little bit more in detail in another video when I get around to assembling these. It's just using TIP 41, 42C, 35C, 36C, BD139 and BC556As. All common components and transistors I have got. And this is only just a look at what I've got type video. I'm not going to be doing anything in this video assembly wise. I was just looking at what the package was. I will be having a break for a few days over Easter, so there won't be any new videos coming out. I've got to wait till next week now anyway to order a transformer for my amp build. But yeah, I just wanted to get this little video out as sort of like a thank you to the person that sent it to me. There's the dual op amp version of the preamp board that I was just looking at before, and this would be the NE553-2 version. So there's 3 op amp stages, and it's pretty much the same as the other one, so it's just using single op amps. So what we've got here is we've got these input and output connectors here. Now, from what I could understand is these are to actually connect to a off-board potentiometer. So this input stage is just a voltage follower. So there's no gain being provided by this stage. So this is being used as a buffer. So it buffers the input from preamp, which is over here. So this part here would actually connect to a volume control. So I'll just zoom in on that area so you can see what I'm talking about more clearly. And I was having a discussion with him last night, and the reason he did this was he was going to include an onboard potentiometer, but however, two things with that. One, it limits what type of potentiometer you can put on the board, and two, he mainly uses motorized pots, and they're physically larger than your standard pots and take up more room on a PCB. So it would make the PCB unnecessarily large than it needed to be. Plus you need to provide the motor drive circuitry for it as well. So if I look at the second incarnation of that, which is this one here, it's virtually the same thing. We've got a voltage follower input buffer here. We've got the same connectors here for the volume control connection, but we're adding in frequency compensation because this is now an NE5534. So there's 3 stages, so 1, 2 and 3, pretty much the same as the other schematic. It's now a little bit more complicated because of the frequency compensation components, and it's also duplicated down here a second time for the other channel. So we've got a total of 6 ICs. So it's actually a very interesting design, I must admit. This here is the main gain stage. So this is just the input buffer between the input source and the volume control. And there's another voltage follower here after the gain stage, which is just an output buffer to the power amp. And if I look at the previous schematic, which is just the NE5532, it's exactly the same concept. We've got a voltage follower here on the input for the volume control. The main gain stage here, from looking at what the resistor values are here, that's operating at a gain of 3.2. And then we've got another voltage follower here, output buffer, before the power amp. So very, very good audio Tony. And the other schematic is the same gain. So it operates at a gain of 3. Roughly. So these will be fun to build and test in future videos. As I said, I'm going to take a break for Easter, take time off from YouTube, and bring more videos after Easter is finished. But I just want to say thank you to Audio Tony for sending me that, and also for being a subscriber, and also listening to me ranting and carrying on in Facebook Messenger. We talk a lot about sorts of random crap, including what Donald Trump is doing and sharing Donald Trump memes. Anyway, I'm going to end this video here because it's gone on way long enough for necessity, and I will see you in another video. So until then, catch you next time. I'm the Astro 30, and if you enjoyed this video, please remember to go down below, like, comment and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And as always, this is the Astro 30 saying see ya. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.